Okay, good morning, folks. It is 5:41 in the morning and 49.3 degrees on Monday, the 22nd day of August, and the 142nd day of the hike. Waking up in the bob. Alrighty, good morning again, folks. It is 7:03 and 48.8 degrees. Just leaving breakfast, just a little ways up the hill from camp. I saw, looked like Shutterbug was finishing up her breakfast back at camp before continuing on what is currently a southbound portion of a flip-flop hike of the Continental Divide. Yeah, last night went pretty well. Slept all right. Let's see, I don't usually wake up in the middle of the night with physiological requirements, but last night was an exception. I did wake up, had to alleviate some pressure, and got out of the tent and just kind of walked a little ways off. Found a good tree, made use of it, and dude, there were so many moths last night. When I got back into my tent, there were like 6 moths fluttering around like mad in there, and it took quite a while to try and ameliorate that situation. Some of the moths, unfortunately, did not make it, but I tried to relocate them outside. They're crazy little critters, man. They flap around like mad, and they're tough to track down and wrangle. But yeah, so what was just going to be a quick little pee break in the middle of the night wound up being a whole like herding moths situation. Whatever. Anyway, so that was last night. This morning, waking up. Well, I woke up about 8.5 miles from the Chinese wall, and now I'm probably a little over 8 miles from the Chinese wall. And then 3 miles beyond that, there's what's called the Spotted Bear alternate. The Spotted Bear alternate, I think, winds up cutting a couple miles off the CDT. And it's not that reason which has led me to decide to take the Spotted Bear, but the reason for taking the Spotted Bear alternate for me is that there is like absolutely cataclysmic reports of blowdowns coming from that section of the CDT, from those people whom I've met on a southbound journey. So I think the plan is I'll get to the Chinese wall, take a lot of video there for sure, and then cruise up Spotted Bear. But honestly, the Spotted Bear alternate's still fairly long. I think it's like close to 30 miles or 25 or 30 miles or something like that. So more likely than not, I'll wind up camping someplace along the Spotted Bear alternate today, which is totally fine. I don't care. Yeah, and so that should be pretty good. The only other thing I'll say about the Spotted Bear alternate is that there are also reports of a decent fire out that ways, some ways. The group of 4 with whom I rode into Augusta said that they were, in fact, they were among those with the reports of the terrible blowdowns, which they were calling Lucifer's Lincoln logs on the CDT. They had intended to take the Spotted Bear alternate, but saw the smoke and decided not to bear headlong into a forest fire, and instead did the red line, or did the official CDT. Well, this gal with whom I was camped last night, she said that she took the red line and was hearing reports from other hikers, and then eventually confirmed by a ranger who she ran into on the trail, that they're thinking about closing the Spotted Bear alternate sometime in the next couple days, which is, I hope I can just get through it. Closing it on account of that fire, of course. But the group of four had said that the fire was contained, and then there was that pretty good rain the night before last, so hopefully all that is helping it. But whatever, hopefully I can get there, get through it. Might be a little uncomfortable if it's smoky. Might be severely uncomfortable if it's on fire. But we'll see what we do anyways. And again, I do have that little bit of extra food with me. So if I wind up needing to add on that 20 miles or whatever by taking the red line or the official CDT and skipping Spotted Bear, I don't imagine that'd be a huge problem either. So yeah, anyways, we'll get hiking and get over to this Chinese wall. I'm excited about it, and I'll talk to you guys a little later on.
Well, I stumbled in the darkness, lost and alone. Though I said I'd go before us and show the way back home. There's a light up ahead, I can't go all very long. Forgive me, pretty baby, but I always take the long way home. Money's just something you throw off the back of a train. Got a head full of lightning and a hat full of rain. And I know that I said I'd never do it again. You know I love you, pretty baby, but I always take the long way home. I put food on the table, a roof overhead, but I trade it all tomorrow for the highway instead. Watch your back, the fire should tell you your love's the only thing I ever know. One thing's for sure, I always take the long way home. You know I love you, baby, more than the whole wide world. You're my man, and oh, you're my pearl. Let's go out past the party lights, where we can finally be alone. Come with me, and we can take the long way home. Come with me, together we can take the long way home. Come with me, together we can take the long way home.
All right, good afternoon, folks. It is 3:23 p.m. and 79.2 degrees. Just finished up some lunch over here. I think it's called Burnt Creek, something like that. There's a little bit of a wet foot water crossing, but it kind of worked out because I had planned on that spot being my lunch stop anyways. Excuse me, that was the Spotted Bear River I stopped at. Just wanted to double check that. Spotted Bear River. That was where I planned on stopping to have lunch. And the nifty thing was, since I stopped to have lunch anyways, I took off my shoes and socks to kind of dry them off a little bit. And then upon finishing lunch, just decided, well, screw it, I'll just put on my sandals for the water crossing and put my shoes and socks back on the other side. So that worked out fine. And now I still have dry feet. So big bonus. I'm about 19 and a quarter miles or so into the day. Definitely that Chinese wall this morning, man, did not disappoint at all. Super, super, super phenomenal. But I'll be honest, it slowed me way down. I was taking tons of video and just really kind of soaking it all in. So, I mean, I think I went like 10 miles in 4 hours or something like that, which is not my proudest clip, considering there was no real topographical challenges. But whatever, I really don't care. You know, there's always those procedural days. Theoretically, there'll be some opportunity here on this jump to make up some of that lost time. I had been moving pretty good since leaving Chinese Wall, but it's been pretty smooth. Smooth, even slight downhills. I've been following this Spotted Bear River downstream. So, yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what the rest of the day looks like with respect to cool features and sights and views, because it's pretty much just been green tunnel since getting onto the Spotted Bear alternate here. But luckily, the reports were accurate that the blowdowns so far have been pretty much non-existent on this alternate. So that's been keeping me moving, whereas I understand that on the CDT, just to my east, the blowdowns are abysmal. So happy to be here. I think pretty soon, let's see, maybe 6 miles or so, I'm gonna start a big old climb up to Switchback Pass, and that climb basically looks like gaining just about half a mile of elevation in about 3.5 miles of distance. So Switchback Pass, the pass itself, kind of the culmination of that climb, is about 10.5 miles from where I hit record. And then it looks like there's a campsite, maybe a mile, maybe less, probably I think a little less than a mile after that, which I'm kind of targeting. It's likely to push me into camp a little after 7, and I'm okay with a little after 7. But we'll kind of see how we go. We'll see how this big monstrous sustained climb treats me. It's been a while since I've had a climb that's lasted for 3.5 miles. That's the grade itself doesn't look completely insurmountable, maybe 600 to 700 feet per mile, something like that. But it's sustained. Again, it's sustained. So I want to wrap my head around what the water situation is on that climb as well, and make sure that I have what I need to get up it healthily. So, so far so good. Just wanted to check in. Hope you all enjoyed some of those views from the Chinese Wall this morning. I know I certainly did. I will keep on cruising, see if we can find any more shots for you this afternoon, and check in with you guys when I get to camp. All right, good evening, folks. It is 8:09, and what was it? 58.6 degrees. So cooling off a little bit, but that's just fine, honestly. Man, so made it up and over Switchback Pass. That was definitely a pretty fun little climb. I'm thankful that the grade was accommodating, because boy, 3.5 miles of climbing is like, Yeah, well, like I said earlier, it's been a while since I've climbed for 3.5 miles straight, but again, luckily the grade was okay. So that made it pretty manageable. I didn't really have to stop. I could kind of just move, and that was nice. Now I am over on the, I guess, north side of Switchback Pass. Probably still about 9 miles, 8 or 9 miles maybe, from rejoining the Continental Divide Trail here on the Spotted Bear alternate, which indeed has been remarkably clear of any sorts of blowdowns, which is great, super, super great. So yeah, so after that afternoon check-in, and certainly by the time I started climbing up Switchback Pass, I'm definitely smelling some smoke now. There's definitely some of that smoke that I had heard reports of from some of the other guys who've come through this section already. It's not like suffocating or anything like that, but I'm definitely aware of it. And you know, the closer I got up to the height of the pass, just sort of the more sort of intense it became or whatever. And I'm only, I don't know what, few hundred feet, maybe 400 feet or something below that pass peak, if that makes sense. That doesn't really make sense to say peak and pass. Anyways, there's the tent there. Looking good, feeling good. Let's think. I thought there was something else I wanted to mention about today. Oh, well, I mean, obviously that Chinese wall, again, was just super, super, super fantastic. I think people who don't appreciate the Chinese wall are just crazy, if that's what the people were talking about, because that was really, really, really remarkable. For me, I really loved it. And I'm pretty proud that I was able to plug in 20 miles after that, because I mean, I guess I probably rolled 30 today. And I really wasn't thinking I'd be able to get to 30 by the time I was leaving the Chinese wall, and it was just so late in the day. I mean, I shouldn't say late in the day, but I had just gone so slow for that first part, which is, again, totally fine. Like, no part of me wants to rush through these amazing sections. So if there's something really, really, really amazing, forget whatever plans I have, man. I'll just stop and enjoy it. That's definitely my preference every time. But yeah, I was able to do decent, you know, a decent little bit of mileage considering how slow I started, and I'm pretty proud of that. Ran into a guy on trail today. Kansas Express is his trail name. Banging out a calendar year Triple Crown, which, to my point just a moment ago, man, I like to be able to stop and like enjoy things. Calendar year Triple Crown. So that's the PCT and the AT he's already finished. And now he's doing a southbound hike of the CDT, which, oh man. Yeah, so good luck to Kansas Express. I really thought there was something else I wanted to mention, but maybe not. No, I don't know. Oh, I did wind up carrying water, even though there's water like a quarter mile ahead of me. I just, again, if y'all don't know me by now, I just like water. So I loaded up 4.5 liters or so and hoofed up Switchback Pass with that. Yeah, that's, I guess, all I got. I thought I had something else. I'll snap back on if I think of it, but otherwise, I'm gonna get into my tent because I did get here a little late, about 7:40 or so. And now I finished all my outside of the tent chores, and I get to go into my tent and do my inside the tent chores. So, yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I guess I will talk to you tomorrow morning.